Welcome to Note Kitchen. So Note Kitchen is this little side project I've been working on. It's basically a website that is a search engine for chords and scales, so you can visualize what the notes are. So we have the interface right here. You have a little keyboard at the bottom here for seeing all the notes. And then up here you have the search input field. And this is your main interface. So for example, let's get started. Let's say I wanted to see the C major chord notes. I could just type C and it defaults to the major triad, and you can see C, E, G here, with the white dot representing the root note, which is C in this case. Of course, we can do more elaborate chords. So I can do C minor by typing CM, and you can see C minor triad now. So we can add a 7, so C minor 7. And again, you just type in the chord name as you would in a normal chord chart. And C minor 7, let's say flat 5, we get the flat at 5, and so on and so forth. So you can clear this by just erasing the note, or you can press enter at any time. So if I press enter, it automatically clears everything. And of course we can do different roots. So F, let's try major 7. We can do major 9. You can do other roots, of course, A flat augmented. So we can do +5. We can also use words like aug for augmented, or dim for diminished, or diminished 7. So you can just be free and expressive with how you want to name your chords. You can also add all kinds of different accidentals. So for example, if we start with F minor 9, but we want a flat 13, you can just add flat 13, or we want a sharp 11, or we want a flat the 6th, which doesn't really make sense, but you can basically add a flat symbol or a sharp symbol followed by any number, and it'll flatten or sharp that note. And you can also use plus or minus instead. And similarly, you can use minus for minor, so C minor 6. You can also combine multiple chords together, so I can do C and D together, and it'll just overlay them. And you can do fully complex chords as well, C minor 7, flat 5, sharp 11. So I'm adding these brackets, but they're optional. They're just easy to visualize. And we can add an F major 9, and so on and so forth. So in addition to chords, you can also search for scales, and the way to distinguish scales from chords is just to enter the name of the scale. So by default, C gives me the C major chord, but if I type C major, I get the C major scale. And similarly, I can do C minor, C harmonic minor, and all the other different scales. Obviously, you can do different roots. So if we wanted an F sharp Dorian, for example, you have that there, and you have all the roots identified in the scale. And if you want to see a list of all the supported scales, you can just click this little help link at the bottom left here. And I have all the different instructions in there, as well as a listing of all the supported scales. Let's keep going. So same thing with scales and chords. You can combine multiple scales together. So I can say, let's say C major combined with F sharp minor, and it just kind of overlays them together. And of course, you have all different major and minor modes in there, and some exotic scales as well. So for example, if you want to see what does a G flat Spanish gypsy scale look like, well, here it is. Another thing you can do is if you're completely new to keyboards and you still find this confusing and you don't know what the note names are, you can enable those via a command called show letters. And you'll notice when you type a valid command, it turns yellow, and then you just have to press enter to confirm it. So this gives you the note names at the bottom, so you can quickly identify what they are. And of course, you can hide those. Another neat feature is the ability to transpose. So for example, let's say I type C minor 7, the up and down arrow keys on the keyboard. So if I type up, you can see that I can transpose up. And same thing if I type the down arrow. And this works for multiple chords as well. It'll transpose them all. It also works for scales. So if you want to see all the Dorian modes, you can quickly toggle through those like that. Another interesting feature is the ability to show just the root notes. So if, for example, if I have a bunch of chords in here and it's all cluttered and I wanted to just highlight the roots, I can just type the word root and it'll remove all the notes except the single root notes. So another interesting feature of Note Kitchen is the ability to play back the notes. So for example, if I have a C major chord here and I want to see what it sounds like or hear what it sounds like, I can just type the word play and it starts looping. And you can see the little LED here lights up when it's playing. To stop playing, you just have to remove the word play or press enter, which will just clear everything. So this works for any combination of notes. So if I have two chords together, I can see what that whole arpeggio will sound like. And it works for scales obviously as well. C Dorian. Or maybe you're curious, what does the G flat Mixolydian flat 2 sound like? And you can transpose as well here by hitting the down key or up key. The other cool thing you have here is the ability to share links. So for example, if I type a chord C minor 7 flat 5 and I wanted to save that or share it with my friends or something, you have this little link icon appearing at the bottom left here. If you click on that, it'll just open a new tab and remember this chord. So if you share that URL with that chord in there, you should be able to replicate this right here. And finally, there's this little Easter egg. If you don't like this color theme with the blue background and the red keyboard, you can just click anywhere on the keyboard and it'll reverse the colors. So that's basically it. Go ahead and check it out. So it's available right now at note.kitchen. Let me know what you think. If you find any bugs or if you have any feature requests, let me know. The best way to reach me around this kind of stuff is I made a Facebook page specifically for this, and it's at Note Kitchen App, all one word. And if you forget that, you can always click on the little help icon or help link at the bottom left here, where you'll find all the information, including this video and a link to that Facebook page. So yeah, drop me a like over there if you like this kind of stuff, and thanks for watching.